Draw your designs on a car bonnet, saddle up your quad bike and head out. Oliver Stapley hosts Crapheap Challenge.
Hello and welcome to Crapheap Challenge, where teams from across the world come to make their own crazy customised creations in just 2.5 hours from this, our mountains of crap. Let's meet them.
Hailing from the home county of Hertfordshire, our first competitor is the co-host of the Spinnerproof podcast. It's Ryan from Team Spinnerproof. Next up, a news anchor from Norfolk, Jevan is a YouTuber and model maker in his spare time. Welcome to the heap, Team Shed a Tear. Finally, Team Panic makes this competition a truly global affair. An electronics engineer from South Australia, Ben is here to turn the competition on its head.
Hello teams and welcome to the Crapheap. Your task this week is to make some strikers of steel, to make some penalty players of plastic, and to make some crap Christmas kickers. Oh yes teams, we're asking you to make some festive themed football robots in just 2.5 hours. Are you ready teams? Go on the sound of the gong. Wait for it. Wait for it teams. Go!
Right, so we need a football robot. Does anyone know about football?
Right then, let's think this through. A Christmas challenge needs a Christmas theme. For me, nothing says Christmas like a good old-fashioned Christmas cracker. So let's see if we can get that kind of cracker shape into a robot.
To scoop the baubles, we're probably going to need some kind of scoop, and I'm thinking a double type scoop. So we've got a scoop around the front that's a scoop in this direction, but also scoops down that way as well to kind of pick the balls up. And then we're going to two-wheel drive at the back and tank steer these so that we don't have any issues with turning circle.
Well, football is played with your feet, so it should probably have legs. Let's give it legs. With some probably socks on. Studs. Studs are a thing, right? Football. Yeah. And then just yeah, no, this is the wrong trousers, isn't it? This is no, we can't do. Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking we get some kind of tube. Lots of tube-shaped things around, different sizes, different shapes, different thicknesses, different everything. We get our tube, chop it down into 3. The ends become our wheels. They're going to need something around them. Give them a bit of clearance and a bit of grip so that we're not just rolling the whole thing on the floor. We're then going to need something sticking out of the main body, which is going to press against the floor and actually give us our movement, or else we'll just be spinning in spots. Also, hopefully something that'll be helpful for kind of guiding balls around as we're doing the final challenge.
Everybody's going to think of a scoop. A scoop is going to be the easy way. Maybe we add an extra challenge. And so we've got our wheels here and our scoop at the front. What about if we had a big A-frame and a kicker? Like have a bauble in here that can rock back and forth and push the baubles with a little bit of extra force. So we need to connect our wheels and our scoop at the front. So we scoop them in. We have our bauble in here with our A-frame like this across there. Oh, I think we're onto a winner. All right, let's grab the truss truck and go load some stuff up.
Right, we'll all ignore that. And what football? Do you score goals in football? So we got a ball. Got a ball. There it is. We need to try and put it in the goal. This is now the goal. Got goal. We're gonna need a way of putting this in here. So keeping it uber simple, we need some sort of housing that we can put all of the bits and bobs in. We might do some wheels on the outside, and then we need some sort of
internally, if I can find some, I'll be using servos. Servos are fantastic, they're simple, you just plug them in and they work. There's no soldering, there's no speed controllers. This will literally be 4 things inside, so we'll hopefully have 2 servos, each linking to a wheel somehow. That's a problem for later. They'll need to be mounted into the inner tube somehow. Then it will just be a question of a battery, hopefully a 2S LiPo, that would be ideal. And a receiver. That's literally it inside. I think we're going to need to maybe make some kind of discs that hold these bits inside. Some discs as well that will probably mount to the wheels. But apart from that, it's a pretty simple build with a pretty simple wish list. Absolutely vital, obviously, the electronics. We need servos. We need a battery. And we need receiver and transmitter. And then materials for the body, we're going to want a tube. Don't know what size we want yet. Hopefully we'll find a few different options. Maybe something like a can will work. Maybe something like a Pringles tube. They'd be fantastic. Something for a tyre. Some kind of sort of thin, flexible material would be great. And then something we're going to make these discs out of. So maybe that'll be something like cardboard. Maybe that'll be thin wood. Whatever we can find. It's a simple enough design. I don't think there are too many big challenges in it. The only way this is going to go wrong is if we can't get out and find what we need. So I'd better get some scavenging.
And then we need some sort of thing on the front to just, we'll attach it like that and just push the thing into the thing, surely that's easy enough. So we need wheels, we want sort of casing, a ball catcher, and then as far as electronics go, we're going to need some motors, battery, receiver yeah. So EI, I don't care. If we've got some speed controllers as well. Cool. And then probably a bottom plate, top plate deal, yeah?
Headed to the fullest part of the heap first, just to see what we can find. Let's have a good look around now. Immediately I'm spotting wheels. In fact, no, that could almost be the perfect donor vehicle if we were going for something a bit beefier. Those are some nice motors. Wheels all pre-made, even some mounts on there, but a little bit too big for what we want. No way. Is that a dual ESC right next to them? That is some luck if whoever comes along and finds that. But I think we'll leave it for now. We'll come back if we don't find anything else, but that's really a bit much for us. Now this is more our speed. Nice big tube. That feels a bit... Still got some Pringles in it as well. Excellent. We'll make use of that. In the trailer that goes.
Okay, so I'm seeing some good stuff right off the bat. We've got some nice solid plastic in this juice container, which I actually kind of like, so I'm going to put that in the trash truck, although that kind of takes up all of our space. see, cotton like this, it's HDPE, so it's easy to glue to or kind of useful as a structural member. It's also weak as. All right, let's see what else we've got in here. We've got a piece of Rec toaster, some padding, bit of metal, some speed controllers. These look pretty dead. Let's see what else we got in here. Bit of foam. Half decent chassis with a busted wheel. This does look like it's not going to have enough power for us though, so I think we're just going to sneak that over into the side here.
Found some electronics on the heap. Some motors and things over here. I don't know if they're going to be any good though. They seem a bit big. They're the Lego large motors.
No, Lego ones are no good. They're too big. Too big for what we're doing, so no, I'd leave them. The wiring's all fiddly and it's all bricks and...
Don't know what this poor fella's story is, but I think we could probably rescue him. He might come in handy. And his mates, maybe. There we go. Nah, that could be a good tube, but I bet that, yep, that's still full. Maybe for a bit of flair afterwards, but I'm not messing with a pressurised can. It's the right shape. Worked with this kind of material before. It's nice and thin, nice and easy to cut. Probably a bit small, a bit damaged as well, but we'll throw it in just in case we don't find anything else. So it's feeling like a good start. In fact, oh yes, good old foam board. Feels like 5mm maybe. Nice and lightweight, easy to work with. In it goes.
Oh, and here we go. Look at this. We've got two fairly beat up robot chassis here. I like the look of these. If we split these down the middle, there's motors on either side. We can add our scoop in and our big swinging section down the middle. And two of them, we've probably got enough parts in here to make something half decent out of those. All right, those are going in the truck. If we can, yeah, there we go. All right, now we need some electronics. Nothing in the cardboard robot here. Nothing in the can. Ah, no. Oh, look at, we've got a controller. It's pretty, it doesn't look great for us, but you know, anything helps at this point, so
We've just got to think about the problem with tyres. Now, I'd love to take this, but I think this stuff is going to be a bit heavy. It's actually not that grippy. I think we can probably find something better. And that's nice and round. And if we didn't really have a plan for wheels, I might take some of that and just use it straight up. Although that nice thin plastic, that could come in very handy. Let's see if that will go in the trailer. Good enough. Ah, now that's the kind of thing we're looking... Oh, yes. Now this is good. Bit of yoga mat. Nice and thin, nice and flexible, easy to cut, easy to glue. That's going to be some amazing tyre.
Oh, what have we got here? This looks like a chassis of some kind. Oh, hit the jackpot. Electronics, that is awesome. That is exactly what we need. The big thing here, not a lot of Christmassy stuff going on. Maybe we drop this load off at base and see if we can find a more Christmassy heap.
Hello, base. We've got some more motors over here. It looked like the 22mm.
I mean, they'll be great for someone, not us. Again, they're going to be too big and yeah, massively overpowered for what we need. So no, I don't get them. Find something smaller, sort of N20s. Look for some N20s.
Oh, hang on a minute. I think I've found some wheels. Some big old wheels over there. Look, big wheels.
Honestly, traction? Yeah, foam? Fine, whatever. Yeah, bring them.
I'm not sure I'm really allowed out here. Just snuck round to the back of the heap. I thought we might be able to find... Oh, there we are. Look at that. Could be the perfect size. Someone's been having a good time out here, haven't they? Excellent.
Now that is more like it for some Christmassy trash. We're going to get a good set up here in the trash truck. Now, I can see some tinsel right off the bat. I'm not too happy about that. I don't think we need any of that. Let's just get rid of all this. Oh, we've got some like interesting plastic pieces in here. Oh, and a belt. That's going to come in handy for sure. Let's get all that loaded up in the trash truck. Spray paint lids. Balloons? No. Oh, another belt. That's not bad. Get all these I don't know what we're going to do with the propeller. Let's leave that behind. We'll get all these plastic pieces though, all caught up in here. And get rid of that tinsel. Definitely don't need that. There we go. Oh, check this out. That is a full-on tinsel plastic boot. That's going to be perfect. We can kick baubles with this. Ah, that is beautiful. Speaking of baubles, it looks like there's a few of those around in here too. So we'll collect up a couple of these. Oh, that one's got some Lego in it already. I like that. That is very cool. Let's load up the trash truck a little bit better.
There's a big metal ring thing here. It's actually in the shape of a Christmas tree. I'm not sure if you want that or not. It's pretty large for me to carry, though. I need some help if you do want it.
Oh, you're an absolute star. Absolute star. Yeah, bring that. Bring it. Festive. Love it. Great. Yeah. Yeah, I'll send Penguin with you.
Not gonna lie, it's been quite hard scavenge. I think we've earned a bit of a cuppa. See how we are for mugs. Oh, hello! Oh, that is festive! Look at that. That's a bit smaller than the Pringles tube. That's a good, sturdy material. I think we might have to make use of that and... No! Oh, my... I can't believe this is the perfect donor vehicle right here. We've been struggling for electronics and that's going to give us everything we need. Look at it. I think one of those motors might be a bit damaged, but oh, that is a fun day. Look at that. There's a battery, there's a switch. I bet my life there's a receiver in there as well. Oh, happy days.
Oh, we've got a couple of wheel options at the back here, some big and some slightly smaller. I think I like the smaller ones. I'm going to leave the big ones here actually. I don't think those are very useful to us or anybody really. These small ones are quite nice. Ah, yes, we've also got a 9-gram servo. That is going to come in really handy for that swinging mechanism. All right, I think we've got enough stuff now to make a start.
Are they the ones with built-in ESCs? Because that would make life so much easier. Yeah, the same ones you can get over on the Bristol Bolt Builders website, #NotSpawn. And yeah, they sound great. Yeah, bring them in. Base plate, top plate, any joy? Okay, keep looking. Bring in what you got, and then you head back out again. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, do that.
Okay, teams, 2 hours remaining. Just 2 hours remaining. Thank you.
All in all, a pretty successful scavenge. We've got lots of different options for the body. We've got some good material for making the internal bulkheads. Over here as well, we've got quite a big stock of sort of thin plastic we can do almost anything with. We've got tyre material. We even made some friends along the way. And then we found the perfect donor vehicle. The only complaint I have is that this one servo isn't working. When we get it out of there, we might find that's fixable. Otherwise, we might be going on a second scavenge for another one. Looking at all of our body options, I think these are a bit flimsy. This is a bit big, and I want to eat stuff that's in it. So I think we'll start off by trying to get this cut. Don't know how well it'll cut. If it does cut nicely, this will be our body.
Alright, so the critical thing here is going to be to get moving as quick as possible. So what I want to do is crack these things open and see how good or how bad they are inside. How much we have left to do here.
Okay, let's see what the team's brought in. So we've got this Christmas cookie cutter that we can definitely use as our sort of, our main body shape. And then we've got some nice, big, chunky wheels. Not sure how we're going to attach these just yet. I mean, Christmas tree is an interesting shape, certainly very festive, but yeah, to attach these. We've also got the lovely inbuilt ESC N20s here, which we can mount somehow. I'm again not sure yet. We'll draw it out once we've got a base plate sorted. They've also brought in some screws to attach the front. This bit we can cut down to do the front, the sort of plough section. We've got the receiver, which we can chuck into the robot, and then we've got the JSTs is going to be really helpful. Still need a switch. And still probably need that top plate and bottom plate. Okay, right, head back out, see what you can find. I'll get cracking with some of this probably.
I'm going to start off with a bit of a make or break moment here. Don't really know how well this stuff will cook up beautifully, could shatter completely. It's really hard to see. I'll scribe some lines, 30mm from the end on each side. This end is actually slightly wider, but that's not a big problem. Let's see if we can cut it. Also, can't clamp it too hard because it just changes shape when you do. I'll have to do it. Wish me luck. Doesn't feel great. Turn it and see if we're still online. We're way offline. Oh no. Oh no. Honestly, that could have been a lot worse.
Ryan, welcome to the heap. How are you feeling about this challenge then?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I think this is kind of in my wheelhouse. I've never built anything that's particularly good. So building out of scrap is pretty much my zone, I think.
Have you got an idea how to tackle the football task then?
Oh, absolutely. Just pure simplicity all the way. I'm making everything internally as simple as I can. It's literally 4 parts: battery, receiver, 2 servos. That is it. That is everything. There's no point overcomplicating this. I want control rather than the speed. I think that's the way to go. There's nothing fancy about this.
Absolutely. And so sort of talk me through your design then. What kind of thing are you thinking of?
It's a Christmas cracker. That's exactly what it is.
That's very on theme. That's very on theme.
When I was scavenging, I was very lucky to find a lovely long plastic tube that's been cut down already into the 3 sort of key parts. So the central section that will house all of the internals, 2 end parts as wheels. And from there, the only thing I haven't really got planned out is what kind of body I'm going to add on the front and rear to actually get a bit of control over the balls as we're playing the game. It's all there already, really.
So you've still got to work out some kind of way to push the balls around. Have you got any other problems that you can foresee with what you've done so far?
The only stumbling block at the moment is the donor vehicle I've got is amazing. It's everything I could have wanted. There's just a bit of a question mark over this motor. It's kind of free spinning at the moment, which it shouldn't be doing. I'm hoping that just means that there's one gear inside that strips a couple of teeth, and when it's all powered on, it's going to work fine. I could probably find out in about 2 minutes, but I'm almost scared to test it, because if it doesn't work, there's really very little I can do. I'd almost rather not know at this point. I think trying to find another servo on the heap is going to be a bit of a challenge, so fingers crossed this one's going to burst into life when it's actually turned on.
Nobody likes a late night scavenge.
No, but needs must. If it has to be done, it has to be done. I saw a lot of good stuff out there. Who knows, maybe there's some third option I've not even thought of yet.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Best of luck, and yeah, we will chat again when all of this is over, and you'll have a better idea as to how this is going to perform.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Top guff removed. We've got 2 damaged motors that have got chipped off and broken connectors, so these are kind of useless, but the gear train in here is perfect. The other side, we have good motors, but dodgy, broken gear train. So between the 2 of these, we do just have one working drive system. Whew. We also have the top plates, which I can actually, if I cut this down the middle, I can use this to space out the motors. That's going to be good because we want to get the boot through the middle, and this has actually a pretty decent spacing for the boot. In actual fact, we might need a little bit wider than this. Maybe we go that way and give ourselves just a little bit of extra space for the boot. Anyway, next step, break one of these chassis in half and cut the front off. We don't need any of this front plate. We're going to make our own little scoopy claw out the front there.
Ben, Team Panic, am I catching you a moment where you can stop?
Yeah, I mean, we're on team break right now.
Oh, perfect. So welcome to the heap. How have you been finding the build so far?
Good. I mean, the ability to find a Christmas themed heap has really helped in this build. I mean, I wasn't expecting that at all, but there was just a giant pile of tinsel and baubles. It was awesome.
Funny how that happens, isn't it? So
yeah, weird.
Christmas football robots. Do you have any ideas? What's on the work surface for you?
We're doing a kicker.
Okay.
I found this awesome, like, I don't know, it's supposed to be like a stocking, but it's a boot, like a
perfect
boot. The only real problem with it is it's big. Like this is bigger than most of the robot chassis we have at this point. So part of the tea break is a bit of a brain break, trying to work out if that is going to work or if it's going to make everything just way too top heavy. Like,
well, you've still got plenty of time to go. Is that the main problem that you see then? The size of that boot.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have an alternative in mind for the boot. But I mean, the boot is just so iconic. Like it would just make such a great looking build that it might be worth the engineering challenge.
And how are you doing for parts? Do you think you've managed to scavenge most of what you need at this point?
I think so. There's some raw materials I might still need yet. I've got a big scoop at the front of the design that I want, but I don't really have the materials for that yet. So I have to go and scavenge a little bit more in a second, I reckon. But yeah, for the most part, we've been pretty lucky on the heap today.
Well, at this point, you've still got plenty of time. You're quite far ahead of schedule at this point.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Hence the tea.
Right. Well, I will let you get back to it. Best of luck, Team Panic, and I will chat to you later on in the build.
So I'm thinking we can probably mount these either side of the bottom of the tree. Once we've got them in place, we can either that or before we got them in place, we can attach this sort of here. We'll need to cut it down. I'm not sure what this is meant to be, but I think it was ill. Yeah, and then we can have the wheels sort of either side of that there. It's going to be a very odd shape, I think. And then just all the internals, just chuck them in, battery, receiver, wires, switch. Should be sorted. That should be it. Should be it.
Sash's parts are now cut and it's time for a bit of a temporary fit up. So if we do that, that sits about where we want things. Motors, of course, will go in this way, and they're probably going to have to get glued in place because some of their locking mechanisms had to be removed to get the chassis to do what we want it to do. Now, the thing that we wanted was the boot to swing through the middle, but oh man, that is massive in comparison. If we do a quick test swing, not only is this frame going to be massive and going to make the whole contraption top heavy, but it's the amount of swing we're going to get is not a lot. Realistically, we're going to get very little in comparison to the size of this boot. But it looks so good. The big old boot in the middle. And we get a lot of push on our baubles. The other option, which might have to be a backup option, would be a bauble itself being the hammer. So we can, with a bauble, that would be better because we have some adjustability in this axle. We could cut that down and glue that onto the servo. That would actually give us a better swing radius, I reckon. We also, of course, will need our scoop out the front and a nice little scoop underneath. All of that can be done as we work out what we're doing here. I think,
It's good news and bad news here. Good news is we've given the donor vehicle a test. Everything's running. The broken servo seems to have fixed itself for now. I really think that is a dead spot somewhere in the gears. If we can find another one, we'll fix it, because we don't want that breaking down on us during the test. That's the good news. The bad news is, I was scared this would happen. At some point, this has picked up a big crack. I don't know how easy that is for you to see running all down there. It goes, maybe 2/3 of the way down. You can kind of see it from the outside as well. That probably happened while we were clamping it to cut. I did hear some bad noises. Looked at it at the time, didn't really see anything. That's a worry. This isn't going to come up against much load. It's not going to come up against much force. But that's worrying. The foam board, however, has been absolutely brilliant. We've got a really nice sort of press fit going on. So the next step is to cut some holes into these end plates for those servos. They're big enough just for us to get the actual servo shaft completely centered. So we're maybe 1/3 of the way there. Got a good hour and a half left. I'm pretty confident we're going to get this done.
Far too dangerous. There we go.
Jevan, Team Shedder, you're looking a bit worse for wear. How's your morning been?
Well, things happened. I won't ever be using cutting discs again. No.
That doesn't sound so good. Take me through it. What was your plan initially?
Well, you see, these cookie cutters, they're made of some sort of unobtainium demon material, and I don't understand. I can't cut through it with a cutting blade, but scissors fine. I could cut through it with scissors. So yeah,
That sounds like a nightmare.
I've cut through it with scissors. It was really easy with scissors. It was like a knife through butter. But yet cutting disc, no.
So talk me through your design. What are you trying to do here? So you've got some cookie cutters, very festive, very in the theme. I approve of that.
Yeah, we got the tree. The tree's like the main body of the robot, and all like some of the electronics are going in there. Like at the base of the tree, the two motors are going to go side by side with like the bottom bit of the tree, and then the big wheels on the sides, and then it's got this sort of that shape to sort of get hold of the ball and push it where I want it. But yeah, the team are still out on the heap trying to find a base plate. We haven't got that yet, and we're still looking for a switch. Do you know, have the other teams got switches?
I think Team Half Spinnerproof have found a switch. I'm not sure about Team Panic yet.
Might send the penguin round to get it. Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, we've got most of the electronics, and they fit in the thing that I want it to fit in. I need a base plate and to never use cutting discs on these demon cookie cutters ever again.
I mean, it's a start. Every build has setbacks, but if you can find this base plate, if you can get out there and scavenge the bits you need, do you think you're on track to get done in the time?
I snapped a drill bit.
That's not so positive. I mean, I imagine we've got a spare somewhere for you. This is going off the rails.
How long's left?
I think you've got about an hour left.
Oh,
just over.
I mean, glue and prayers. Glue and prayers is all I've got left. Glue, tape, and prayers. I'll add tape to the mix. I've got lots of tape, lots of glue.
It is the crap heap way. Best of luck, Team Shed of Tears. I will let you get back to it.
Where's my shed?
1 hour remaining, please, teams. 1 hour.
There we go. Let's see what kind of receiver we've got in here. Wow, that is well taped up in there. Wow, you really couldn't ask for that to be in much better condition. That is fantastic. All of this should transplant pretty much straight in to this build.
So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to take this section and this section, add some of this guy, and this guy. Forget screws.
Still haven't made a decision on what we're going to have swing through the middle. Instead, I have put the time and effort into getting the drive system working, so we have motors all wired up and glued in place just with an industrial quantity of hot glue. These should not be going anywhere. In the original robot, they were held down with pressure from the top, but we can't do that, so just glue. Lots and lots of glue. We've got some output wheels, which have got O-rings for drive, and I added, well, I didn't have much of a choice. I just had these axles, so now I guess we've got some little extension pieces that we can hit balls or bobbles with as we drive around. Now, these wheels are locked up tight because there's a worm drive in there, so we can't actually back drive any of this, but that should be cool. I think next I'm actually going to work on the front scoop because that will kind of inform, I guess, the size and shape of the robot, and once we have that, we can decide on how tall our upright bit in the middle is and whether we bauble or we Christmas boot. Although I think bauble is looking better and better. That's looking in proportion and yeah, just decent in the middle there.
It's not going to look pretty. It is not meant to be. You will be a functional thing. Keep sticking. Round and round we go. Where we'll stop, God knows. There we'll stop. On the inside. Looks swish. Ish. Swish-ish. Okay. Just need the team to get back with the base plate and then we can, you know, get this thing mounted, do the thing.
So about halfway into build time at the moment, teams seem to be getting on okay. Ryan has had a bit of trouble cutting up his tube, but he seems to be going for a fairly simplistic design, but keep it simple. Potentially might have some problems with those servos of his, though. Jevan seems to be having also a lot of difficulty cutting up his cookie cutters, and I'm a bit unsure about the shape that he's gone for. I'm not sure how well that's going to control the baubles. But we'll see. It's light, and potentially that could make it a lot faster around the football field. We shall see. We shall see. Ben's design is it's a lot more complicated than the other two. He's actually going for an active weapon, and although the boot that he's picked looks very cool, it might be a little bit unwieldy, though he is talking about swapping it out for something. I think at this point in the build, if I had to put money, if I had to put a 50p on my bet as to who's gonna take this, I think it might have to be Team Panic and their active weapon Footie build robot. I like what he's doing with the football sort of kick that it's got, and that might just give him the edge in the final challenge. But we shall have to wait and see. Back to the builds.
Nice one, Support Penguin. Let's get you out of that little backpack there, and yeah, you can right. Cool. Base plate. Nice. Bit of thick card. Can't go wrong. Yeah, green, festive colour. I like it. Let's work with it. Just wait for the switch and battery to show up. Now wait, here they are. Nice, cool. Switch and battery. We got everything we should need now. So let's get cracking with this.
It's getting pretty late in the build now, and pretty much everything is ready to go to pack the internals in. But I can't stop worrying about the gearbox on this servo. It really doesn't feel like it's going to hold up for as long as it needs to. I'd love to find another one, but we've searched high and low, and there just doesn't seem to be anything else like it around. There's still these big motors we saw earlier, but the way we've built everything, they just wouldn't fit. We've looked high and low. There's got to be something around here, but it's a really specific thing to want. We might just have to run with what we've got. I wonder if there's... No way. Oh, if this works, then the day is truly saved. Let's get this on the receiver and see if it goes.
Cool. So we've got our base, we've got our sort of walls, and we're just going to glue one to the other now using old trusty C-cone.
This is your 30-minute call, teams, now entering the final 30 minutes.
Nearing the end of the build time here, and we are getting pretty close. We've got electronics done. They need to be mounted properly yet, but we've also got this rigid pole at the front that we're hopefully going to be able to mount the servo on, which the servo needs to mount kind of up here. We've also got some extra plastic which came out of like a container lid or something that we can brace out the back here to give a little bit of extra stability, because at the moment this is wobbly and kind of bad. We're going to go with the bauble. I tried to get this shoe involved as much as possible, but by the time there's a support in the way, there's not much space to actually swing it, and as much as I really wanted to do that, it's not happening. So I'm going to get the bauble hanging about there, I think. We might also jazz this up a little bit if we've got some time, but we've got to get this servo mounted up. So, hot glue, everybody's favorite all-purpose adhesive, just a ton of it under here. And then once we've done that, it should mount up to here. And once again, we will add a second support layer once this hot glue has dried up. And now I just have to hold that.
Okay, so we hit a bit of a snag, that the wheels need to be sort of higher up on the robot, otherwise the scoop will be ineffective at catching baubles. So the team have been out to get a couple of these, found them on the heap, and we're just going to chuck them in either side to mount the old motors to, and by mount I mean glue!
Things are looking pretty good over here. We've got wheels, we've got the bauble, we've got a scoop out the front, kind of. It should be good enough, I think. It would be nice if this was a bit bendier out that way, but yeah, it should work. Next thing though, it's not looking all that Christmassy, so I think I want to get some tinsel. Electronics box! We need something out the back here to hold the electronics, because originally they were supposed to kind of sit on this flat section, but if we do that, they're going to get knocked out by the bauble. So let's get some electronics boxes going and probably glue those wheels in place.
All the important stuff is together. The wheels are on. They don't have their tyres yet. Problem I've got is I don't know where the front is. Next step, I want to add the tyres and add some kind of forky things that are actually going to move the balls around. So we better find out which way this actually turns, and if it turns at all. That wheel could be a problem. That's very wonky. This side I think will work. That side is bad. But at least we know that that is forwards. It's currently driving away from us. That's a start.
Okay, so we have motors attached to our body, and this thing is getting a little bit heavy now. So hopefully not too much weight. I might just not put a top panel on it. You know, who cares? It's not going to get attacked, hopefully.
Well, progress is good, but time is getting very tight now. The tyres are on. Look like they're going to offer a lot of grip. A little bit of an issue with the wiring getting hit by the tyre, but that will just be a question of trimming. That'll probably come down to tinker time now, because I've got maybe 10 minutes left to finish off this bodywork. I wanted some kind of arms coming out the front. I've made these out of the washing up bowl that we found during the scavenge. I was a bit worried that this is a very shiny plastic, this is a very shiny plastic. Trying to attach anything coming out of, say, the bottom would have been quite tricky, so instead these will be gluing onto the foam board that's on the side and kind of butting up against the servos. I do wish I've thought about this a little more and got the servos lined up, because they're not. So it's going to be a question of doing these kind of by eye and hoping that they work. We'll also need some kind of tail coming out the back, so maybe I'll do almost the same again, just coming out the back. Maybe even only on one side, because that's all it should really need. Yeah, we'll get those on, and then I think it'll be a question of tinker time to get this thing looking as fancy as possible.
Okay, so I have attached the wheels. They're now on the motors. I don't think they're very straight, but that doesn't really matter. Now I need to wire it up. You'll see I've added like elastic bands around here just to keep the wiring down, out of the way of the wheels. And I'm going to wire it in now, hopefully the right way round. We shall soon see. So these two need to go. I think they need to go here and here actually. We will trial and error this later. And I'm gonna, because I'm pushed for time, I'm just gonna plug the battery straight in. I don't recommend it, certainly from a building perspective, but or a safety perspective, but you know, time is limited and I need this thing running. So that is all the wiring, and now we just need to test it out. There is a light on, little light in there. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I need to work on my driving.
Okay, teams, your time is up. Step away from your machines, put down your tools. For tomorrow, we will find out which of your machines is a messy and which of your machines is a mess. Get a good night's sleep, teams. Get a good night's sleep. Well done.
It's been a grueling 2.5 hours, but impressively, each of our teams have completed their manufactured midfielders, ready for testing. On the field tomorrow, they will have just 1 minute to score as many goals as possible. Will Jevan's biscuit shapes cut it on the pitch, or will Team Panic give them the boot? Find out after the break.
Team Half Spinnerproof. Build's done, tinker time is over. How are you feeling about your chances going into this?
Better than I did at the end of the build time, for sure. I think it's one of those things, once it's decorated, it suddenly looks right again. Yeah, it had a lot of wobbly bits, but I've covered most of those with cotton wool, so you can't really see that they're wobbly anymore.
That's promising. I was going to ask if you'd used your tinker time to improve some of the bits you were worried about, but it sounds like you've just been disguising it.
Yeah, you just have to cover the sins. I was worried. One of the things I realised really late on is that when I took the donor vehicle, I checked that it worked. Never actually checked the battery was charged. And it's now sealed right in the middle of the robot. So I did think that maybe during tinker time I could try and get that out and either check it or charge it. But that was too much of a risk for me. I'd rather go in potentially a bit slow, looking fancy, than risk running out of time during tinker time. That's terminal. I wasn't going to mess with that.
Makes complete sense. You're up first. Are you ready?
Oh, goody. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Good luck, Team Half Spinnerproof.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Team Half Spinnerproof. Go on the sound of the bottle.
Ryan, how did you think that went?
Brilliantly and terribly at the same time. It was a very promising performance from the robot. I think the driving left a bit to be desired.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 balls in. You've got to be happy with that.
No, frankly, because it could have been 10. I had loads of extra time. I was just rushing. I punted those 2 completely off the pitch. I'm worried I'm really going to regret those 2 lost balls.
Yeah, I know Jevan is doing his in an enclosed arena, so he won't run the same risk of losing the balls out the side like you've done.
But then, to be fair, I was able to. I really did use those low walls to kind of run out, run back in. So I think it was a help as much as a hindrance.
Well, the other 2 are still to go, so fingers crossed. Is that food you've got there?
Oh yeah, that was the best bit of doing the challenge for me.
Well, enjoy your food, and I'll chat to you at the end.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Good morning, Team Panic. How's
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, feeling really good. Spent a time making it a little bit more Christmassy. Feeling pretty good about this, actually.
So how did the rest of the build go for you yesterday?
Yeah, interesting. Finally did resolve the issue with the boot and swapped it out because it was too big. As much as I really wanted it in there, it was just gonna be a big problem. So pretty happy, I think, with how the robot looks in the end, though.
Yeah, Crapheap is all about the compromise, and you start off with one idea, and sometimes that doesn't work, and you've got to think on your feet and come up with a solution. So what did you swap the boot for in the end?
I swapped it for a bauble, actually. So we're going to have kicking a bauble.
Almost like a Newton's cradle type thing.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's just, one end is detached and hopefully flies into a goal.
How are you feeling about the challenge? So you're going to have a minute to get as many of the baubles in the goal as possible.
No problem. Should be fine. Like we've got the kicker. The kicker is going to be the key. Drive up, maneuver behind the ball, and just put, and it's going to go straight line into the goal. No problems at all.
So you're aiming for all 10?
Oh, 100%. It's going to be 100%. Even if we don't get him right on the goal, like maneuver around behind him, kick him at the goal, and just like clump everything up over there. It's going to be easy to then knock him straight in. No problem.
All right. Well, best of luck, Team Panic.
Thank you.
Okay, Team Panic, go on the sound of the bottle. Ben, how did that go for you?
Oh, honestly, not as good as I hoped. I mean, five is a pretty good score. No, it wasn't quite all 10. The kicker let us down a little bit, I think, in this one.
It was a nice idea
in the build.
As far as I know, I think you're the only one who went for an active weapon like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that was the whole point, right? The whole point was to put some time into an active weapon, give us that little bit of an edge in the competition here. But the robot was just so fast. Like, it was way faster than I was expecting it to be. I mean, I think it's all a bit of a scrap thing, but I think we're overvolting these motors, which is just the speed increase was phenomenal.
Sometimes that's what happens when you're working under a time pressure. You just don't have time to test everything in the way that you'd like. But 5 out of 10 isn't bad. At this point, you don't know how Ryan's done, do you?
No, I don't know about either of the other two teams here. So I'm just kind of crossing my fingers that 5 is going to get me over the line here.
I think Jevan is next to go. I'm going to keep my lip sealed and we'll leave it as a surprise for the end.
Ooh.
But yeah, 5. You're feeling that might be competitive.
I feel it's competitive at least. Like it's solid second at the very least, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you.
Mm-hmm.
And well, fingers crossed for me as well. Of the 3 teams, I think the active weapon was the one that stood out to me the most. You're the one I put my 50p on.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully I haven't let you down there.
Hopefully not. All right, we will move on then to the final challenge. Let's go see how Jevan's done. Shed of Tears, good morning. How have you found your tinker time?
Well, I haven't actually had that much to tinker with. After all of the incidents of yesterday, there was only a couple of things needed doing. I managed to burn out both a motor and a battery simultaneously because the motors have built-in ESCs. There was smoke and none of it worked anymore. So there was a bit of trial and error yesterday after doing a bit of testing to see what had gone on, and then discovering it, we knew we needed to just chuck in some new motors. So we've done that. The build is looking pretty okay. It's come out almost exactly how it was designed to look. It's got quite a wide surface area at the front, which I think is going to benefit me. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
Absolutely, you've done an excellent job getting this all together, because I know you had a bit of trouble earlier in the build working with the materials that you'd found. How are you feeling about the challenge? Do you think you've got a good shot?
I think potentially. I've had to fiddle with the speed of the machine as well, because it was just too fast to start with. The new motors I put in were considerably faster. So yeah, I've slowed it down a bit to improve control. So hopefully I haven't slowed it down so much that it means that I will only get sort of up to the goal before the time is called.
Well, fingers crossed. You're up next. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Shed of Tears, now's not the time to cry. Go on the sound of the bottle.
Jevan, 1 minute was over. 8 balls in the goal. How are you feeling about your performance?
You know, it performed really well, as I thought would probably happen. My driving needs more work than the robot does. I think it performed perfectly. It as designed, better than designed even. I'm really happy with how it actually worked. So yeah, it was just my driving on the day, I think. That could have done with a bit of brushing up, a little bit more practice last night perhaps, but never mind.
I mean, do you think 8 out of 10? You think that's competitive? You think you're in with a shout of the trophy?
Definitely. I mean, the last 2 balls were sort of in areas I couldn't exactly get to. So, yeah, I had no hope of getting them in. As soon as I saw they'd hit that area, I left them. And, yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us have seen each other's performances. So it'll be exciting to see how the others have got on.
I'm not giving anything away. I think I think it's time to go and chat with the experts, and yeah, I think we need to reveal the winner of this thing.
Exciting times.
Best of luck.
Well, teams, it's been a whirlwind of a few days, but I can finally announce the winner of Crapheap 2020. However, both Ryan and Jevan scored 8 goals in their 1 minute, so it came down to who did it in the quickest time. And I can reveal that with a time of 42.62 seconds, the winner of Crapheap 2020 is Ryan Bratley and Team Half Spinnerproof.
Come on, let's go. Hard-earned victory Pringles.
And if you thought that was good, join us again next year for some more Crapheap Challenge. Bye-bye.
It's all your fault.